The best advice for a 20-year-old is to realize that your 20s do suck.
Being in your 20s is brutal. Really, for a majority of us out there, our life has been scripted up until the point where we graduate high school. It's just been school, break, school, break, school, break. And hell, even if you do go to college, whether you graduate college and then you're out into the real world, or you left high school and you're out into the real world, once you're there, you're just left out there to fend for yourself and figure things out. Which, yes, obviously, that is a part of life, is growing up, figuring out how to navigate the real world. However, it is incredibly hard to do so, and there's a lot of people out there who are just ending for themselves. And yeah, for sure, some people have it better than others. I definitely come across a wide variety of different friends throughout my 20s who, I mean, 20s is weird because you can have somebody in their 20s who's a millionaire, somebody in their 20s who has a whole family, someone who has all these houses, someone who's still poor. The 20s is just like the wild, wild west. And I know for me, for certain, my late 20s have been the most transformative and rewarding. But my early 20s, hell, even my late teens and early 20s, a hot mess express. The amount of work that I was doing and all the side hustles, and then oh my gosh, the bills, debt, navigating friendships, relationships, everything was just hitting at once, and it's weird. It's just weird. And truthfully, I feel like it doesn't have to be that way. Yes, your 20s is hard. Yes, you're out there fending for yourself and you're learning about the real world, but you can do that with guidance. And that's what this video is about. We're going to talk about different perspectives from people in their 20s talking about why it's so hard for them. And then also the other perspective from me and other people who are in their late 20s or early 30s who are telling advice that they would love to give to themselves and people who are going through their 20s right now. This video is going to be filled with tons of stories, perspectives, and at most advice to help you navigate your 20s. Hell, a lot of the stuff can even be applied to your late 30s and 40s too, but this is mainly about your 20s and the sheer chaos that takes place in it. So if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. It helps the channel grow a ton. Without further ado, let's dive right into this video.
I remember when I was 21, 22, and I was outside, right at a bar, little club, night lounge, whatever. And I would see him 27, 28. I'm like, why the f is a 27-year-old in here? Once I turned 27, I looked in the mirror. I said, I look just the same as I did when I was 21. I've touched a lot of money in my 20s, but as a 29-year-old and touching like grown money for real, like I'm a big kid with a wallet. That's really all it is, right?
Yes, like it's nice. It's fun. I'm living my life, and the more I look around when I'm in these certain scenarios and situations, whether it be music festivals and like, you know, the VIP areas, people paying grown money, honestly, we're all just having fun and we're all still young. And that's another thing. Growing up, I realized I used to look at adults way different. Like I looked at me down here and adults up here. When we're all here, it's just a matter of what we're doing with our lives. But at the end of the day, once we get to like 26, 27 and onward, we're all just adults and we're all equal. There's a respect your elder standpoint as far as like old people who need help. But as far as someone's in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, no, they're all the same to me. Because truly, I've come across so many people in their 40s and 50s who don't have it together. And I've come across people in their late 20s, early 30s who do have it together. I've come across people who are so depressed and feel like they just did life so wrong in their early 30s. And I know people who are in their early 30s who are just done with life and are so lost and confused. It's truly all over the place. So when it comes to somebody in their 20s, it's like, quit looking at, like being called, it's funny being called unk, it really is, but I feel like the reason why unk irritates me and auntie, referring to like late 20s as unk and auntie, even though like I am an unk, I am an uncle, I get it. But this idea that late 20s and 30s is old when you're not even like halfway to life expectancy, like that's not old. And I feel like because of this perspective that 26, 27, 28, 29 is old, that people are starting to age themselves even faster at being young. Like slow down. It's okay. You don't have to have it all put together. You don't have to have life figured out. This goes into another video I'm working on right now. The Sephora kids and all the people like trying to look really young and all the Botox and they're just starting younger and younger. Why is everybody trying to be grown? Like there's no preteen stage, you know? It was like kid, preteen, and then like teenager, but the preteen's gone. Now it's just like little kids and people trying to look grown, act grown. In reality, just slow down. Because I'm having so much fun with life, especially later on in life. Like for me, I'm super excited for my 40s. I can't wait for my 40s because I know all the time I spent in my 20s to really grind and work is gonna pay off, and it has been. But I'm also always keeping in mind this perspective that life is not over and I'm not old. We're all still young, we're all still thriving, we're all still changing.
There's people in life, like no bullshit, that their whole goal in life is to be a husband or a wife. And then they fulfill that at 24 years old. And by the time they turn 30, they say, well, what else is there to do?
Listen. Especially if you are straight. If you are a straight man, a straight woman, please get your life in order. Please figure out who you are as a person before you go jumping, digging, and diving into all these damn relationships trying to get married. There are so many people out there that are striving so hard to, you know what, they don't even want to be married. Y'all want to have a wedding. There's so many people who want to have a wedding instead of actually being married. There's so many people out there who are just striving. I need to find my person, immediately get with them and have a baby. It's like, slow down. If anything, I feel like that's a recipe for disaster, to just repeat childhood trauma and repeat what your parents passed down to you. Far too often am I seeing people get married way too fast and not having the really hard and tough conversations and battles and fights. And you lived your whole life just to get married, and like the dude saying, you get to 30 and then you're just like lost, and then what? I feel like there's a reason why so many people in their 30s and 40s have like midlife crisis, are super depressed. You got all the dads that are alcoholics and all the moms hooked on Ambien. It's like, why is that? No one's really looking into the why. And maybe it's because they rushed their lives. Maybe it's because they fell into this relationship that didn't need to be a thing. They went in so hard, had the kids, had the big old wedding, and it didn't need to be that way. Are there people that are out there thriving right now? Yes. But the amount of people I know in the late 20s and early 30s who are just like stuck because they rushed so hard in their early 20s to do all the life steps and keep up with the Joneses. You know, I have to get my job, get the car, get the house, have the kid, yada. Calm down. It's going to be okay.
On average, I say this all the time, you're probably going to live until you're 80-something years old. Probably fucking longer as more technology comes around, right? So yes, you're 25, like, a quarter of your life is gone. Well, shit, most of it, you're a kid. Doesn't even count for real. You'll randomly see people in their late 40s, 50s, 60s, just like doing a whole bunch of shit. And then you're like, why? And it's probably because they were acting like grandfathers and grandmothers in their 20s. And then realized at 55, 60 that now they're doing all this shit because they didn't want to do anything when they were in their youth. That's when you're supposed to be doing all of this shit anyway.
Yep, that's true. I see it time and time again. Like, literally, if you're in your 20s now, one, live it up, explore new things, move to new places, take those risks. Just take this time to really go out and have fun. I'm not saying have fun in the sense of becoming an alcoholic and a thought. No, just have genuine fun. Try new things, try new foods, travel, explore. Just expose yourself to new adventures and really get a feel of what you want to do in this life and what you want to give back to it. But rushing into all these life steps and acting like a grandpa in your late 20s, early 30s and feeling like, oh yeah, I am old and oh, I'm doing this or I'm that, and you get bored. Live now. It's going to be okay.
We don't talk enough about how common it is for people in their early 20s to not be doing well. Like, they're depressed. Last night I hung out with two friends that I went to high school with, and talking to them made me feel a lot better about my life, because my early 20s have had quite a few ups and downs, definitely more downs than ups. Like, on paper it seems like I'm doing really well, but in reality I think you're bound to have a lot of downs when you're going through a really big life transition. And that's kind of what we were talking about, is we went to high school together and now we're visiting home for the holidays, and like we're running into other people that we went to high school with, and so we'll be like, oh, I ran into this person, and we're like, how are they doing? And it's like, oh, you know, they seem kind of depressed. And that was the common theme for everyone, like regardless of the circumstance of their life. It could be like, oh, they moved to this city but they don't really like this city and now they want to leave, or like they're having a difficult time at their job and they're looking to change careers, or like they're still living at home with their parents and they really just want to move out. It's like when I was younger, everyone would say your 20s are the best time of your life, but of course now that I'm in my 20s, everyone says it's your 30s. But either way, you grow up being fed a fairy tale that like one day you're just going to become an adult and have your own money and it's going to be amazing. Add on to that the craze of social media and how everyone tries to make their life look amazing no matter what, and then that can leave you in your early 20s being like, wow, I was told this was going to be the best time of my life and it looks like everyone else around me is having the best time of their life. Why do I not feel that way?
There's so much. I kept wanting to pause, but you just kept going. You talk so fast. Okay, let's break down a couple of things you said. One, everybody's making their life look really good on social media. If there is anything I have learned throughout my 20s, and I'll be 30 this year, it is that if you see anyone on social media really giving like the highlight reels of like, this is what I'm doing with my life, here's my relationship, here's all my vacations, here's this trip, here's that trip, oh, I'm doing this flashy thing. It's never that way what you see on social media. They're only giving you what they want you to see. So off the bat, do not compare yourself to other people on social media. That's the worst thing you can do. I'm glad I never really fell into that trap. I compare myself more to people in person, and I used to be really jealous of other people who got ahead, whether they had like, you know, a trust fund or this or that. But then I had to realize that everybody has their own life traumas. I get it, but like so on social media, no, they're only giving you what they want you to see. At that, this idea that you're gonna become an adult and have it all put together, no. The 20s is hard. It is depressing. It goes back to what the first guy was talking about, when our entire life has been structured. You're just now being born, you're just now becoming a person, because from 0 to really like 18, 19, your entire life has been structured. Yeah, your personality's forming. Yeah, you have all the experiences and all these memories of school and friends, but like you're just now experiencing life in the real world, and it is hard and it is terrifying. And there's so many people out there acting like they have it all put together, and they don't. There's so many people out there struggling and not being honest about the things that they're going through. Being in your 20s and not figuring out how to deal with things or who to run to is hard. And while some people can read a few books, listen to a few podcasts, and work it out, some people, maybe even you, need someone to work through it with. And it's funny because as much as we talk about how we want somebody to talk to, we want somebody to vent to, this, that, and the third, it's rare that we actually do it. And this honestly lines up exactly with what BetterHelp's State of the Stigma survey has found. And it's that 76% of people believe that mental health care can help, but even then, still so many people hold back, whether it's because of stigma, cost, or just not knowing where to start. And that's why I love working with today's sponsor, BetterHelp, because their whole mission is to break down those barriers of entry and make getting support as easy and flexible as possible. BetterHelp will connect you to a therapist who can help you find some of these answers to the questions and concerns that you may have. Instead of being stuck in this endless loop of questioning yourself and struggling in your 20s and not knowing who to turn to because you don't trust this person or that person, you can actually talk through your concerns with someone who's trained to help you. All you have to do is fill out a questionnaire, and BetterHelp will assign you to a therapist within as little as a few days. And you're not stuck with this person. If you're not liking your therapist, you can switch at no cost. Regardless, they carefully make sure that all therapists on the platform are well qualified and that their support is there to help you if you have any questions or concerns. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is definitely a platform that you can trust. Going to therapy, it's a sign of strength, not weakness. And navigating your 20s doesn't have to be done alone. And this is something that I wish I had and that I knew existed when I was going through the deepest battles of my 20s. Because always remember that therapy is not a crutch, it is a tool. To get started, you can tap the link below or scan the QR code here on the screen, and that will take you to betterhelp.com/Amir Odom, and that will get you 10% off your first month of therapy. Don't get so busy building a bank account that you forget to build a life. Valid. There is a way to find a peaceful medium, because I know people in their 20s who are doing nothing. They're stacking their paper, they're grinding. Like, no, I need this money for this account. I need this much in my savings. I need this RA, I need this budget, this, and that. To the point where they're not even living. They're not even enjoying their life. They're just saving to the point of like what's the point? All this money just sitting there. You're living, like, live your life. But equally said, on the flip side, I know people who are struggling day in and day out, have no money to their name, but like the most experiences ever. They've lived entire lives, like they've lived more than people who are currently alive, like tenfold. And while that may be cool, that's not the smartest thing to do. So I think it is good to say, like, find that middle ground of, yeah, stack your money up, be smart with your money, but also get those experiences in. And I say experiences, I don't mean material items. If there's one thing I'll always pay for in life, it's my comfort and my time. And it's the cool experiences that last longer than some designer bag or shoes or this, that, and the third. No, just pay for comfort and pay for experiences, and stack your money up, and then you'll be pretty set and good to go. To give yourself some grace. You're going to stumble and make bad decisions, but it's not the end of the world. Oftentimes we mess it all up before it comes together. Valid. You cannot navigate life expecting everything to go smoothly. No. The most successful people on this planet always tell the same story of their life going like this, and rock bottom and up and down, like it's chaotic. And that's not saying go out there and make chaotic decisions, but that's just to expect, hey, when things don't go right, that's just a part of life, and keep it pushing. Don't dwell on it. Don't sit on it. No, it's a part of life. Just keep trucking ahead, because every single time after the darkest moments in my life, things have just skyrocketed. And that can be said for a lot of other people out there. So if you are down in the gutter right now, or something went wrong, just pick yourself back up and keep going. Learn to find comfort in being alone. So many people get in relationships and they don't even know themselves. tea. There are so many people who jump into these relationships, keep jumping and jumping and jumping into these relationships. I can't stand it. I truly can't. It boils my blood. It pisses me off. It enrages me because it just creates chaos. It truly creates chaos. Unless you are in a relationship where you both are growing together and you're bringing out the best of each other and you're just like climbing these ladders, you're just like skyrocketing and they're making you a better person and you're learning more about yourself and they're pouring into these new hobbies that you have and these new niches and this, that, and the third. That's great. That's awesome. And that happened to me and I want that for you. But oftentimes I do come across these relationships where it's just toxic. They drown each other out. They drag each other down. It's not invigorating. It's not inspiring. It's not motivating. It's draining. And nothing should be draining. Nothing should be suppressing you. You should be able to do anything you want to do in terms of like hobbies, you know, TV shows, sports, like whatever it may be. They should be pushing you and leaning into your passions and allowing you to explore that and not dragging you down. There's so many people I know that just rush themselves in these damn relationships and they're not even happy. There's so many people I know who done got married and divorced already in your 20s. Come on, G. How? And we say how, but it's because so many people get in relationships and they don't even know themselves. They haven't even gone through all the work of their childhood traumas, how it's affected them, how they're growing up as an adult, the goals that they want to have. They just rushed in, oh, I'm with this person, so that means I got to get married right now, have the wedding, and like settle at home and just chill and relax. What is that doing for you? Again, and don't lie to yourself, unless you are with somebody that is actively pushing you to be a better person, bringing out the best in you, challenging you to be better, and pouring into your hobbies, just be single in your 20s. You're better off just doing that, especially if you're a straight male, because it's a little bit different, because I know women and the biological clocks and wanting a child and wanting to settle a little bit more down, especially late 20s and early 30s. It's because of that I really do urge straight men to stay single and grind as much as they can in their early 20s. That way you can have this foundation set up in your late 20s and then you're ready to meet somebody. And at that point, I hope that you're able to meet somebody that's going to push you to become even better than you already are at that moment in time. You don't need this distraction. You don't need this person. It's okay to be alone. Sit in that. Just sit in it. Then focus, then get somebody later on, but at least get to know yourself a little bit more. Or if you find someone who truly likes you for you and is a good person, hold on to them for dear life. Hello? If you find somebody that likes you for you and they are bringing out the best in you, they're making you happy, making you smile, go for it. Hold on to them, but don't confuse your trauma with not able to being alone and just being around someone with making you actually happy. And I hope someone caught that, please. I hope that makes sense to somebody out there. Do not confuse your own personal trauma of needing to have somebody around, needing to be a people pleaser. Like you making someone else happy makes you happy. Don't confuse someone else's happiness for your own. Don't do it. Don't. Make sure they're feeding into your happiness. Make sure they are genuinely making you happy as a person. And if they are, and you found that person that is great and they are hold on to them, please, for dear life. Because those people are rare.
Yesterday, I saw someone post this video saying that basically people in their mid-20s need to stop acting like they're old retired grandparents or they are on a one-way track to midlife crisis. And that could not be more true. As someone who is 29 years old, I too went through that phase when you're like 24, 25, where you're no longer in college, but you're not engaged, you're not quite married, you're not quite settled down, but you kind of want to be. You're in that point where you're like, oh, I got to get my life together. You wake up one day after like a night out and you're like, that's it. I'm throwing in the towel. I'm hanging this up. I'm done. All I'm going to do is meal prep. I'm going to stay inside on the weekends and blah, blah, blah. And that's great. I love all that. I do all that. And I did all that then. Then, as you get into your later 20s, you realize all of that comes crashing at you, all of the responsibilities, the marriage. Now I'm married, I'm planning, potentially a family in the near future, and I have a home, I have a mortgage, and all those things. And the carefree kind of like, I don't give a crap type of life is no longer an option.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, even if you want it to be, it's really not. I'm not saying that you should avoid all your responsibilities and go party every day. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not even talking about partying when I say like being spontaneous and having fun and enjoying your 20s. That could literally mean frolicking around in a field in a sundress with your girlfriends listening to your favorite song. Like, it can be going on an ice cream date or a spontaneous road trip for the day, or like,
Really, it just goes back to being spontaneous and utilizing your early 20s, all of your 20s really, especially if you're single, just do the most outlandish things. And again, I'm not talking about just partying and getting drunk. I'm talking moving to a new city, traveling abroad, going on this random trip overseas, going like just doing things, going to this meetup, going to a concert alone, going to a theme park alone, like just exploring and just doing stuff. Because the older you get, the harder it is to just pick up things and just do risky stuff and just go and just yeet life. Like it gets harder because you know, like this person says, you're getting a mortgage, maybe you're starting a family. Like, not saying that life just crashes down, you can't do anything after that. No, you can have a kid and still go on vacations, you can still travel, you can still move, you can still do all these different things. But we all can agree it is way easier to do that with way less risk and way less responsibilities in your 20s. And it is great to spend your 20s getting, you know, the meal prep, the working out. That's fine, but find that middle ground of still having fun. Like I wish I could just think of his name off the top of my head, but I can't. There's this guy I follow on Instagram and he's a fitness dude, but a realistic fitness dude. And it's awesome to see he be turned on the weekends, turned, acting a fool. And it's fun because, you know, saying like you going to festivals, going to the concerts, but then Monday through Friday locked in, body still snatched, still working out, still eating good, working hard on his career. Like find that middle ground, still have a lot of fun, be spontaneous, do these things, but also still have that grounding that'll get you a long way. But at the end of the day, your 20s is this time to really just explore and try new things and not get too buttoned up in the pressures of life.
thing that makes you happy. It does not have to be, you know, things that are considered, oh, live your life. Like, if you want to party, pop off. I love a good drink. I love me some dancing, okay? What I'm trying to say is, these are the times, you guys, like what Kylie said, these are the years that I should be in Miami, shaking ass on a yacht, or something like that. You're gonna wake up when you're 50 years old one day, and be like, damn, I really wasted my youth worrying about meal prepping and staying in and trying to be perfect and blah blah blah. And it's fine to have balance. You should do those things. You should set yourself up for
Balance is
success
key.
and do what makes you feel good. But also do what makes you happy. Like, have a little fun. Have a little fun. Be spontaneous. I promise you, like, I'm serious. I'm turning 30 this year, and this is something that's so weighing on my chest. My cause of death will be nostalgia, because I swear, like, every time I look back at a certain time, I'm like, oh, those were the years. But, like, those are really the years when you're, like, not a student anymore and you have some freedom, but you're still, like, have a little bit of adult money, but not, like, anything that's really holding you, tying you down. Like,
And I'm with her a little bit. I love nostalgia. I love reflecting. I love looking back on life and how much I've grown and learned and the different years I've gone through. But I never look on the past like, oh, that was a great. Like, I don't envision myself being in my 40s and my 50s and being like, oh, 20s was it. Oh, the 30s was it. No, life is it right now. Life is great. Life is amazing. And I'm always going to treat and respect life and whatever the stage I'm in now with the utmost respect and balance as much as I can. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. But I never want to be one of those people that's looking back on a decade like, oh, those are the years. Oh, this is great. No, I'm immensely excited for the future. I'm immensely excited for every year older that I get because it's only getting better. And I don't see myself plateauing and being like, oh, those years were amazing. No, it's always going to be a new level of just fun, a new level of experiences, a new level of what brings me joy. And far too often, there's people that trap themselves in there's no balance. They go so crazy in their 20s, then they just plateau. In their 30s, 40s, and 50s is always looking back at their youth instead of relishing in what they have now. If you can find that balance between, you know, being prepared, having a plan, having a career, but then also having fun and still being spontaneous, and then two, finding that partner that feeds into that, you're game. You're so game. You're so set.
This is the hardest thing that I had to get over when I was in my late teens, early 20s. And it is the way I viewed adults. Because by the definition of our legal system, an 18-year-old is technically an adult. But when I was 18, I didn't feel like an adult. I felt like a child. especially because I'm East Asian, because I'm Chinese, due to Confucian, philosophy of like the top-down relationship that exists between a child and a parent, a teacher and a student, a person of authority versus someone with no authority. That really held me back even more, because in Western society, in the USA, in which I live and work in, and where I started my career, that is not something that exists in Western business culture. You can make jokes with your CEO at a peer level. Like, you guys, and the more you can do that, the more you will succeed. And that was a shocker.
The more you treat people like people, the better off things are going to be for you. Obviously, this isn't applicable to every single job or career field or person, but for the most part, you treat a person like a person, it's going to work out for you. It goes back to what I was talking about earlier regarding like how I look at adults and how 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old, they're all the same. They're all adults. Yeah, that one has more, not even. Maybe one has more experience, but that's not always the case. There's plenty of 30-year-olds that I know that have lived way more life experiences and done more than a 50-year-old has been at their desk, corporate job, 9 to 5 all their entire life. Like, the more you treat somebody like a normal human being, you shoot the shit with them, and you treat them like a regular friend, the more they honestly are going to respect you, because the hierarchy, it does get a little weird, and not a lot of people are fond of it.
Okay, during my first internship at a very, very good company, I was like, I gotta cozy up to these senior leadership people. I started cracking jokes. I started making jokes. I started being friendly. I wasn't scared of them. I didn't really want the job. But I was like, I'm going to start practicing this. I'm not going to be scared of these people. And that really helped me, because when I got into sales, when I was 23 years old and I was selling to people, double, triple my age, it wasn't that hard. And I did pretty well. And it was because I didn't treat them like a god on a pedestal, right? I actually treated them at peer level, even at a level where I'm the expert and they're my customer. And I'm educating them and I'm helping them as a consultant, right? And that makes a huge difference. So I think that regardless of your familial upbringing, especially if you're a woman, especially if you're from a very socially hierarchical system, this is likely also to happen to you. And it's something you absolutely should be looking to correct in your late teens and early 20s.
Start to shift that perspective. Don't be scared of adults. You are an adult too. Treat them with respect. Not saying being rude, not saying act like you know every damn thing. Treat them like a peer. Like, don't be scared of them. They're not on this pedestal just because they're 30, 40, 50. No, they're also an adult too.
Thank God I'm not engaged. Thank God I'm not married. Thank God I have no kids. Like, I'm free. I can do whatever I want. You know how cool that is? You are in your 20s. No relationship, no kids, nothing tying you down. You can go anywhere, you can do anything. Instead of being bummed, like, oh, I haven't found my person yet, blah, blah, blah. The person will come. Just build the life that you want. So much more fun just doing things for you and building that relationship with you. And it's so cheesy, but like, I'd rather be hanging out with me than compromising with some dude. Been there, done that.
The best advice. And there is an extremely easy way to look at this advice, look at what this woman is saying as negative, as bad, but that's actually very healthy. This person seems to be at least what she's saying, very firm in her beliefs, very fluid and being able to be spontaneous, do whatever she wants to do, loves being with herself and her time, respects herself and her time, knows her worth, and she's enjoying her life as it is right now. And if she finds somebody to get in a relationship with, so be it, as long as that person is on the same wavelength of just growing together and just being the best person that they can be. She's doing what she wants to do and fulfilling her own life. And when someone comes along and fuses with that and keeps it going, that's great. The problem, what I don't want this to get confused with, because I see another side to this idea that she don't need no man and she an independent boss babe and, she thinks she knows everything. That's not the vibe I'm getting. This is very just like respectable vibe, because what I think is more toxic is the more, more conservatives say this, honestly, but this whole idea of marry as young and fast as you can, have as many kids as you can, start this family, build this home. That's so toxic, like incredibly toxic, just to jump in, boom, get married, especially like typically in your standard, Western conservative society. Getting married means 0 divorces. So you're immediately jumping into a relationship with someone you barely know, getting married, vowing to never split away from them, and then gonna have kids as well. And then we want to wonder why half of us got divorced parents. We wonder where all this childhood trauma comes from. We wonder why some of our grandparents weren't sleeping in the same bed. We wonder why our parents are so damn toxic and why they hate their own lives. We wonder why there's so many midlife crises. We wonder why there's so much drug addiction with our parents. We wonder why there's so much alcoholism with our parents. Is it because they rush things? I don't know. You tell me. We all have our own experiences. We all have our own life. We all witness our own things. What trends do you see? Are these people that are older in like the 40s and 50s, are they genuinely happy with their lives and their marriages? So this is way more healthy to me that this person is firm in who she is. Then she's going to get a partner to grow with. There's some of these women out here that is like, I just need to find a man. I just need to find a man that'll get me pregnant and I can be a mom and I can have my wedding. And better than like some of the guys out there just like, I just need to find a wife right now. Sometimes it works. But it scares me when I'm looking later down the line in the future of like, what is this going to turn into? Because you felt like in your early 20s, your mid 20s, you had to be in the relationship. You had to have the wife. You had to have the husband. You had to have the house. You had to have the kids instead of just taking your time and figuring out life. Granted, I know it's a little bit different with women in a biological clock and wanting to find a man to procreate and have children and build a family. I get it. But with that in mind, maybe have more of this mindset earlier on in your 20s. Find out and sit with yourself and who you are as a person. Have a good quality of girls around you. And then when you get later on in life and you're 25, 26, 27, then maybe that seems like a healthy time to start having kids. Not knocking all the people having kids super early on, but like if you want to have like intentional planned kids to pour into financially and be financially ready for that, I mean shit. After 25, 26 seems pretty ideal. But regardless, male or female, I think it's great to be able to sit with yourself, love the life that you're building, love the life that you're creating, and finding a partner to ride that train with you. And they're doing the same thing.
Best advice for a 20-year-old is to realize that your 20s do suck. That you are probably drinking too much. You're hanging out with people that aren't the best versions of themselves. Neither are you. You've got crazy hormones going on. You're going to bars and hanging out with people, having a few too many drinks, and then going to a job you kind of hate because you're brand new into the workforce. And so, of course, you're doing the worst thing humanly possible. And that's going to continue for like 5 to 10 years. Like you are going to do a $65,000 a year job for 2 or 3 years that sucks. And you're going to have no time for anything except what your boss asks of you. And I wish people had told me that, because if you see the light at the end of the tunnel, you're like, oh, okay, like I can do this for 2 or 3 years. I can learn, I can grow, and I can suck it up for 2 to 3 years. And then after that, I get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And so the advice would be, when you have a foot in your nail, which is what it's like when you start your first job being 20, don't, try to ignore the fact that it's painful. It's there. Like it's there. It's real. It sucks. And I wish somebody had told me that.
That's so valid. Acknowledge that. Acknowledge that the where you're at right now is not forever. You on your own time. You control your life. When I was working at McDonald's between 16 and 18, I knew I wasn't going to be there forever. So any horrible day that I had, I just knew it was one day closer to the last. When I was in my 9 to 5, I knew that later on, like I was going to be somewhere else in life. And I knew that as many bad days as I had there, whatever stressed me out there, that was not my forever. It wasn't. And I fully intended on staying there for a few years. I knew it was going to suck. I did. But also knew it was going to give me that foundation, give me that stability to let me pour into my other hobbies and my dreams and my goals that I wanted to accomplish and do. Not knocking anybody who wants to climb up the corporate ladder and do their thing. That's what I did. Anybody, you can do that. Not knocking that at all. But how about this? If you're at a job that has no growth opportunity, then yeah, you got 2-3 years before you try to figure out somewhere else. But if there is growth opportunity or you do have an exit plan, keep your eyes locked on the end of the tunnel, because it's going to get brighter. It really is. But the early 20s in the corporate America and being in entry-level jobs, they suck. It was ass. I did not like it at all. It felt mundane. It felt like I was wasting my existence, but I was providing shareholder value to the company. I was doing that, but also getting my little checks, doing my little experiences, and getting a little foundation to be able to go out and do what I really wanted to do. Play this game, use it to your advantage, but acknowledge your feelings, acknowledge the present, and acknowledge that it sucks. It's not going to be perfect. It's not all going to be fun. It's not all going to be shits and giggles. But when you're able to acknowledge that it's not always going to be good, at the same time acknowledge that this isn't going to be your forever, and at the same time acknowledge that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, you're going to be doing something completely different, it makes it extremely more easy to just work through it right now in the present. Genuinely does. And like this person said, I wish there was someone that told me that too. Not really. I felt that way. I already knew. I had the plans laid out. I didn't know everything, but I did know that that was not my forever situation because of the life trauma that I have. And I always understand that the current season that I'm in right now is not my forever season. Again, I always say it's called going through it for a reason. You're not stuck there. You're going to survive. Whatever season you're in right now is just a season. But I know my life is going to be at a different caliper in 2 to 3 years. At every single point in time, I always know this current version of Amir, where I'm at right now, mentally and everything, that's right here. And I'm going to be up here in 2 to 3 years, and it's going to keep going up because of all the things I'm constantly learning and exposing myself to and the goals I've set out for myself. But at the end of the day, I'm always aware that it's okay. When bad days come, it's a part of life. It's up and down, up and down. And I know I have a North Star, I have a vision, I have a goal set, and there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm going to get my way through it, and any of us can. As hard as your 20s may be, or even for some people how easy it's been, and that's great for you, but for the most people that I've come across, the 20s is not the easiest thing. It is hard. It is very lonely. It's very depressing for a lot of people, men and women. They have their different battles that they go through, even gay men, gay women. Regardless, you're gonna be okay. Take those risks as much as you can. Really hone in. If you landed on this video, that's great. Hone in on content like this. Keep learning from other people and tell them they're telling the advice that they wish they would have known. It's the easiest way to excel. It's the easiest way to level up because you have a ton of people right now on the internet giving you all the keys to success that they wish they had early on. They went through something, learned a lesson, and now they're giving you that lesson so you don't have to go through what they went through. Take all this advice, keep looking up content like this, and constantly grow. Read the self-help books. I've thrived on the self-help books. Dr. Joe Dispenza was great. Just keep working hard and have, like that last video was such a good ending video. Have that vision. Have your eyes set on something and go towards that and achieve it and lock in tunnel vision. The best thing you can do for yourself in your early 20s is learn more about you. Don't rush into this relationship. Don't rush to keep following life's rules and what your parents expect of you, what your friends expect of you. No. Drop everything and learn as much as you can about yourself, your childhood traumas, the things you like, the things you don't like. Just grow internally and be comfortable with being alone. Be comfortable with being with yourself, and it will make it 10 times easier to come across somebody that will pour into you even more because you're not having to deal with all this baggage and trauma that will eventually come out later on in life, like we see now with some of our parents out there. Regardless, I'd love to know your comments below. If you are in your 20s, what is something that you're struggling with? What is something that you're going through? And maybe somebody else can offer advice to you in the comment section, as well as if you are if you are in your late 20s and early 30s and onward, I would love for you to drop a piece of advice that you would tell yourself in your 20s. I'd love for this comment section on this video just be filled with tons of advice. Someone can just sit and binge read and just learn and just fast forward in their own life. That'd be really, really great. So I'd love for you to do that. So again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. It means a lot for your support. It means a lot subscribing to the channel, sharing these videos, helping us grow. It's insane. I'm just very grateful and honored to have your time here, and that you spend time watching my content. It means so much more than you can ever fathom. And the fact that I'm going on tour, if you want any information below, the link is below, and you can visit amirodom.com for more. I'm visiting New York, Seattle, Chicago, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, Phoenix, LA, and Toronto. That's it for right now. Tickets start at around $40. Grab them while you can. It's going to be a great time. Cannot wait to meet you all. And without further ado, said it before and I said it again, do know that you can achieve anything you put your mind to. Just keep working hard on yourself. Focus in tunnel vision, only you and you will get there. So that being said, thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I will see you in the next one. Deuces.